India had surrendered its fishing rights in Katchatheevu in 1974 itself, and the 1976 agreement only cemented it. Well, this is what a document of the Sri Lankan government, which has been accessed by CNN News 18, is now exposing. Indian fishermen continue to be arrested by the Sri Lankan authorities because India had surrendered fishing rights near Katchatheevu Island in 1974 itself beyond doubt. And a further agreement in 1976 only further put this out explicitly. This is what the Sri Lankan document of 2008 that we have in our possession is now exposing. The document is the reply of Sri Lanka's then Foreign Minister Rohitha Bogollagama in the Sri Lankan Parliament in September 2008. The Sri Lankan Foreign Minister cited the Article 6 of the 1974 India-Sri Lanka Agreement to say that by this article, only navigational rights of the vessels of both Sri Lanka and India over each other's waters had been preserved. He said provisions of Article 5 and 6 of this 1974 agreement, if taken together, do not confer any fishing rights on the Indian fishermen or the vessels to engage in fishing in Sri Lankan waters. The Sri Lankan minister also said that all Indian fishermen could do post 1974 in terms of rights to access to Katchatheevu was to dry their nets and dry their catch. They cannot fish anymore in the waters. The Sri Lankan minister also said an agreement between both the countries in 1976 further clarified the position established by the 1974 agreement. In the 1976 agreement, it was clearly mentioned that each party shall respect only the rights of navigation through the territorial sea and exclusive economic zone. The Sri Lankan minister also said that the 1974 and the 1976 agreements taken together with the letters of exchange signed between the foreign secretaries of both sides has put the question of fishing rights beyond doubt and clearly rules out any fishing rights for India. It clearly prohibits fishing vessels and fishermen of one country fishing in the other's waters. The Foreign Minister of Sri Lanka in 2008 in this document also cited the exchange of letters between both sides, which clearly said that fishing vessels and fishermen of India shall not engage in fishing in the historic waters, the territorial sea and the exclusive economic zone of Sri Lanka. Now, why this is important? Well, the DMK has been arguing till now that its chief M. Karunanidhi had never consented on the 1976 agreement which took away Indian fishermen rights to fish around Katchatheevu, as he was not in power then. The RTI document revealed by the Ministry of External Affairs of India has brought forth the minutes of meeting between India's then Foreign Secretary and Tamil Nadu CM Karunanidhi in 1974, in which Karunanidhi gave his approval for redrawing of the India-Sri Lanka maritime boundary that would leave Katchatheevu on the Sri Lankan side. This agreement with Sri Lanka, interestingly, was signed on June 26 to 28, 1974, within a week of the meeting of Karunanidhi and the Indian Foreign Secretary on June 19, 1974. Well, DMK now argues that it was the 1976 agreement which surrendered India's fishing rights in Katchatheevu and hence Karunanidhi was opposed to it. However, the Sri Lankan document with News 18 now shows that India had actually surrendered the fishing rights in Katchatheevu in 1974 itself, within days of getting Karunanidhi on board. In that meeting, interestingly, with Karunanidhi, the centre had told him that the new boundary line would cross 1 to 2 miles west of Katchatheevu and the ostensible reason for the lines would be to ensure the maintenance of traditional fishing and other rights enjoyed by Indian nationals on and around the island, which would fall on the Sri Lankan side of the line. Because of our strong stand, they finally agreed that Indian fishermen and pilgrims will enjoy access to Katchatheevu Island as hitherto. That is what the promise to Karunanidhi was. However, as the Sri Lankan document revealed by News 18 now shows, Sri Lanka never bestowed Indian fishermen the right to fish in the waters around Katchatheevu since 1974. The Sri Lankan document of 2008 also says that several personalities in Tamil Nadu have raised the issue of Katchatheevu, making proposals based on their own perceptions without any apparent valid legal basis pertaining to the rights of Indian fishermen. The document, in fact, of the Sri Lankan authorities cites a case filed by then former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Jayalalitha, in the Indian Supreme Court. However, the Sri Lanka says that a decision given by court outside the jurisdiction of Sri Lanka would not be binding on Sri Lanka, and any such court order or judgment will not alter or have any impact on a bilateral treaty concluded between two sovereign states.